This episode of The Casual is brought to you in part by Squarespace. For all your website needs, Squarespace delivers it in an all-around package to help you build a beautiful, integrated online presence.
Collabs are so commonplace now in fashion that it's becoming harder and harder to sift through all the BS cash grabs and the actual good stuff. So how about a list of underrated collabs from the past, from Japan no less? That seems right on brand for The Casual. Seems fun, short and sweet. Maybe you can add to it, I don't know. So without further ado, I'm your boy Reggie Casual. Let's get it. All right, so before we get into this, we gotta preface this. We gotta preface the first one, okay? And this is it. The West actually has a love-hate relationship with Undercover. We know this. Those who love Undercover recognize the label as the proper way to introduce oneself to Japanese fashion. Those who don't like Undercover just don't know this. So I'll personally forgive you if you don't know about this first collab. Undercover's collab with Levi's in 2017. Now, we did get the Brainwash Generation text and other familiar elements that was seen on the UC Supreme collab that everybody in their mama salivated over a year before. The Levi's collab was a worthy extension of that idea. I mean, in hindsight, 2016 to about early 2019 were just amazing years for fashion in general. That's just a side note. But the Levi's Undercover collab was brutally underrated. The details, the technique, the integration was actually, I mean, not even just well done, it was great. And for the most part, the streamlined pieces, sans the embroidered text, they reached staple status, grail status even. And part of the reason most people never caught wind of this collaboration and the denim jackets and subsequently the leather jacket was that it was only released at the Park in Ginza, Hiroshi Fujiwara's extended collaboration pop-up. Again, those years were amazing, especially in Japan. And for what it's worth, now the Undercover Levi's jump off was a shining spot that not a lot of people engage with, unfortunately. Now, for this next one, we want to choose something a little bit more accessible. All right, so if we're talking about hindsight being 2020 or at least something like that, and we gotta take a look back at Nike Cab Imp. All right, it fits that billing entirely. Even your boy incorrectly viewed this collab as uninspired without truly recognizing the impact and message that that collaboration was trying to send. In the midst of Triple S's, chunky sneakers, Off-White, and Nike's insistence on playing with our emotions, in early 2019, they took a slight detour by collaborating with Cab Imp, which abruptly said, hey, enough with the madness, and let's get back to a form of street that's actually street. And you gotta respect that and the collaboration. It was ahead of its time while also harkening back to a time that was truly culture and not hype driven. Even today, it's still strong, and the Air Max 95 released alongside the apparel has only increased its profile over time. Now, you can't have a list of Japanese collabs without mentioning Vans. And because it was incredibly hard to choose just one in this spot, we cheated and chose two. Okay, two. All right, so the first was 2016 Vans Vault collab with TAKA HAYASHI. Now, to be fair, Vans Vault has a yearly collaboration with Hayashi-san, but 2016 is a damn. The materials, the colors, the theme, and the implementation were all just the sweetest of chef kisses that you'd ever see. It was like, if you couldn't get Visum FBTs, no one would blame you for going TAKA HAYASHI Vans Vault as a substitute. It was that good, until this day remains a bright spot in the continued work of Vans Vault and Hayashi-san. The second is Vans Mastermind 2016, which released, to this day, one of the cleanest skate highs ever. Don't DM, comment, it just is. And I'm punching myself for not getting a pair. When I had the chance, I was in the line, chose the Eras instead. I'm slapping myself for dumb decisions. The Eras are still cool, but those skate highs, regrets. I was in the line. Anyway, if you're a fan of French name but Japanese brand Comme des Garçons shirt, you had to see the collab with Futura as a winner, right? Right? I mean, it's obvious, right? No? Okay, so listen, there's just too many people skipping on CDG shirt, period, and that's a shame. It's one of the most consistent shirt-centric labels on the planet and always comes through with a new and fresh perspective. And if you're at all a fan of mixing it up in some tasteful way with some vibrancy, then Comme des Garçons shirt, period. Which makes it so baffling that Futura's collab with the label was kind of an afterthought. I personally don't wear clothes in the range of CDG shirt, but that collab was just one of those where it worked. Unlike that Cause Comme des Garçons shirt jump off, which will remain in a vault until time ceases to exist. I'm sorry, that's just me. But Futura, yeah, that deserves a home and is rotation worthy, especially now. If you want to dress like Sangiv but not Sangiv, TDG shirt, Futura. Check it out. Shout out to my male son. Shout out to my boy Sam. Now we got three left. But before we get into that, let's get into a word from our sponsor. You know who it is, Squarespace. Watch it because some of you actually need a website. A big part of this fashion industry is presentation. That's why Squarespace offers up professional, clean, and easily customized website themes that will have you presentation ready from jump. So no matter if you're running an up-and-coming label or just want to sell some novelty merchandise, Squarespace's e-commerce options, social media integrations, and robust analytics and data-driven backend make selling, promoting, and managing your website incredibly easy. All that, and you can save 10% when using our code squarespace.com/thecasual when you sign up. So why are you hesitating? Get started and make that website using Squarespace today. All right, so this next one comes from Adidas. Yes, I say Adidas, get over it. Now, Adidas was hitting every cylinder from 2014 to like 2017, and in Japan, it was shining lights on labels no one even knew about. In 2016, they did just that with Japanese label HYKE, with its sleek deconstruction, pattern play, and frankly, just gorgeous silhouettes. I mean, HYKE Adidas was just a breath of fresh air. Not to mention the collab produced one of the most epic see you later silhouettes in history. I know because I bought some and everybody kept on asking me about it. And those shoes received so much underground fanfare that they released it again. And I got those too, so I got 2 per. But HYKE in general is underrated, so kudos to Adidas for sticking it with the label despite its limited audience. It's still amazing. You should definitely check it out, even though it's more women's wear, but they got some genderless stuff that you should check out. Some androgyny is being played there. Check it out. I do. I did not skip it at all. All right, this next one. So some of you may or may not know about Sight. It's a label under the Yohji Yamamoto banner. And it will be featured again when we eventually do all the brands of Yohji. But Sight is a common go-to for me when I want something Yohji that's new but not mainline, or Yohji silhouette with less nuance than the mainline. To that end, Yohji Yamamoto Archive is cool, but I kind of also want to support Yohji's new stuff and his company, so I buy Sight quite often. Anyway, Sight did a collab with Dickies in 2018. You heard that right. Sight, a Yohji Yamamoto label, did a collab with Dickies, the Dickies you know about. And to be honest, at the time I was torn. I hadn't fully committed to the voluminous Yohji, so I hit up fellow casual compadre Alexis and she was like, nah, bruh. And I was like, come on, I can do this. Ultimately, I did buy a piece from the collection. I bought the pants. And at the beginning, I loved them. But something weird happened and I didn't know how to put them together with what I had in my closet. And truthfully, I started going after a slimmer silhouette on my bottoms at the time, and it was hard to pair my other tops with them. So I began to not like them. I began to hate them. I blamed it on like my height, my style, all kinds of different things. So I started going to Yohji retail spots like 3 times a week and realized in order for the pants to work, I had to commit to the look. And once I did that, I fell in love with Dickies' Sight. And that long diatribe was just to highlight why the collaboration was underrated. Because if anything, it was nearly a perfect entry point for anyone who is on the fence about adopting Yohji Yamamoto silhouettes. Forget the fact that it was basically workwear done Yohji, which sounds amazing on paper. That alone makes it commendable. But it also taught me personally something about style that I had ignored a lot of the time. It's not just about how you look to the world, it's also about how you commit to the look that you choose. So now I love the pants once again, and they are firmly in the rotation. The quality is top tier, the fit is on another level, and honestly, I don't think I could have discovered what I really love without taking the plunge and buying them. That's a little personal, but the collaboration was still underrated and definitely worth a look. And last but certainly not least, Adidas comes in again in a collaboration with Yosuke Aizawa's White Mountaineering. This has to be one of the biggest we tried so hard to make this right collabs. It was just a case of right idea, but wrong time. Or just too much competition, or bad marketing. One of those 3, or maybe all 3. Let's be real here. White Mountaineering alone is tough and was at one point one of my go-to labels when I personally was going tech wear crazy. The Adidas collab was like a gorpcore tech athleisure mix that was so well done that it's still crazy how it didn't take off. It blows my mind. Maybe because everyone was fighting over Nike Lab ACG with Errolson at the helm, and all the while, White Mountaineering was just sitting there, looking pretty damn good, but just sitting there. And it really puts a question mark on the marketing efforts of Adidas, but that's another story. Because part of the reason why it didn't blow up was because Adidas was linking up with designers that no one actually knew at the time and decided it was better to somehow have rappers like Designer promote their stuff that no one really cared about. Not the White Mountaineering stuff, other stuff. Which is baffling because where is Designer now? Panda. White Mountaineering still churns out some good collections on its own, but the price tag it carries is a bit steep for most pockets. The Adidas collab was a great middle ground and definitely worth checking out. So if you got a chance to check out some of the older stuff, please do so. It was kind of cool. So that is what we got today. But others are out there, and we'll be sure to do some lists later. But how about you name some collabs that you feel were underrated or maybe even overrated? They don't have to be from Japan. I mean, they can be from anywhere. I mean, overrated lists would actually be really cool. I want you guys to name some overrated ones too. That would actually be hilarious, funny. Like, why did everybody like that? In any case, keep it locked right here for all of your info on international street fashion culture and business from Tokyo. It's your boy, and keep it casual. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu, and I'll see you guys in a minute.